Okay, so Real Housewives of Atlanta Part 3, Season 8. Alright, they bring Lanithia Leaks ass out. She got on this old nasty piece of jumpsuit. She got flowers and shit everywhere covering up the main parts. Nene is so damn tall. And she was out there rolling and shit, and Kim Fields looking at her like, "Okay, girl," talking about she giving body, yes, yeah. Nene looks really cute with her bob. You know what? As long as Nene finds and keeps her right shade of blonde, it's cool. As long as she don't have like some crazy kind of hairstyle in, Lanithia typically looks good. And she does know how to dress for her body. All right. So apparently, Kenya Moore, she left some comments on social media, and she was talking about Nene. And basically, what she said was, she called Nene a backstabber, and it was in reference to the whole situation that happened in Jamaica when nobody knew Nene was coming but Cynthia. Cynthia didn't let nobody know, and Cynthia was very much so acting as if she didn't know Kenya when once Nene got there, and she was just like, "Nene back, me and Nene back friends, and what's a Kenya? I don't know her." And Nene got very upset. Apparently, she left something on a blog or something. When Nene responded, Nene was just like, "I'm not a backstabber, nothing like that." Kenya was just like, "Look, I said that because you basically came for Cynthia's job, which she did." She was just like, y'all remember when she said on Watch What Happens Live with Andy, and Nene was going off saying that basically Cynthia don't bring nothing for the nothing to the show, and that she boring as hell, and that her ass needs to go. Y'all remember that? So I mean, Kenya feeling that way was pretty valid, but also, her feelings was just hurt as to how Cynthia was kind of doing her, especially when she heard back from the girls, how well Sheree, um, how Cynthia had kind of just shunned their relationship to the side for the time being. Okay, um, so Nene also said that she was surprised that freaking Frack, Portia, and Phaedra wasn't as surprised to see her or happy to see her. At least they didn't seem like it. I think they was just more so in shock. They seemed like pretty cool or good friends, but then again, I don't know. Phaedra's not really the most, I guess, friend. What am I trying to say? I guess Phaedra's really not. She don't seem like the most, I guess, loyal person in the world to her friends, or you know um she's very, she's slightly untrustworthy in my opinion, and she's slightly, you know full of what some people will call shit. But generally, just I think Phaedra's funny. I think she's smart and all that good stuff, but ain't nobody here for the bullshit that she brings, that she tries to feed to the people. But she's a good talker. She's a lawyer, so there you go. Anyway, I just got all off track, but y'all know how these videos go. But okay, let's see. She was just like, she wasn't surprised that she was a little surprised they was, wasn't that happy to see her, or they seemed like it, whatever. They was just like, "Girl, we just didn't know you was coming, yada yada yada." They get into let's see. They get into some flashback moments with Kim and Sheree. Andy asked Sheree, did Nene, not Kim and Sheree, Nene and Sheree. Andy asked Sheree, did Nene fix her face? She was just like, "Yeah, she looked good." Both Sheree and Nene do look good. The two originals, it's always good to see a bond at the end of the day between these women at some point. Um, okay, Nene gets into the whole thing about Kim. Andy asks Nene the same question that she asked the rest of the girls, which was, "Is Kim a good fit for the show?" She basically said that no, she don't feel that Kim is a good fit for the show because Kim is very much so distant. She's a little antisocial. She don't really want to interact with the girls. Nene was like, every 5 minutes I'll be having a conversation with Kim, and then I blink and her ass gone. I got an early morning. She's just out. She had to dip. It's time to go. She was booked for for night night. I guess she drank her warm milk and she hit the road, Jack, until she come back. And Kim was just like, well, I'm just on a schedule now because of the kids and my husband and the kids and my obligation, and I'm a good mother and I'm this and that and the kids and the breast milk and this and that. Um, okay. Let's see. They get into Moore Manor and Chateau Charest, or Chateau She Can't Pay, as Kenya would say, which was a good one. And their whole fighting scene and stuff, and Kenya and Sheree seem to be cool now. Yeah, Sheree's a little strong, so it'll take a man to get her together. So Kenya realized, she was just like, I'm not gonna fuck with this bitch, which was smart. Let's see. Apparently, I guess Kenya's already in her house because she was like a week later. My house would be ready in a week, and this and that. And Sheree was just like, it's about a month, 4 weeks, and this and child, whatever, Sheree. I don't believe nothing Sheree say when it comes to their damn house. We would just see, like when it actually shows a picture, when she's actually inside the house, when she's actually on the toilet, is when I believe it. Until then, whatever. It's all just alleged. Okay. Um. So let's say we get into Portia and how she's truly changed her personality. They get it, and Nene was just like, when we first met Portia, she was damn near first lady. She was wearing kitten heels almost. I fell out. Nene was funny as shit during this reunion. I give her that. Nene is full of shit too, as we know, but they all have their funny moments where I just laugh. And Portia was just like, not kitten heels. It was just like, yes. But she is totally different. She was just like, just because I shake my ass or whatever does not mean that I'm not classy and all that. Which I guess is true in a way. And I'm just the queen of Thotland now. That's all. But it's so funny. If this is truly Portia, who we see on the show, which I believe it is, is honestly is crazy that she was very much so just doing whatever Cordell said. She was very much so um who he wanted her to be, because she's totally completely different. I remember them all being, I think it was in Vegas, and they was in a limo car, and they was just talking, and she was just like, I'm shocked that he allowed me on this trip with y'all and allowed me to go to the strip club and this and that. And it was just like, allow. It's so crazy how much she was being um controlled in a sense. uh but now that we see Portia for who she truly is, I kind of see a little shit that's in her that's a little annoying or whatever, a little childish. But there's still no reason to for somebody to control your every move and all that. Like, no, you're grown. Like, ain't nobody got time for that. You should already be complete when you marry somebody, and so should they. Then y'all just come together and just be the shit. But y'all should both parties should have their individual lives and be their own person, my God. Anyway, um Kim, they asked Kim about the whole swimsuit thing, and when Phaedra was, she had on that revealing ass swimsuit, and so did Portia. She was just like, oh, that's just cool or whatever. Candy comes in, she was just like, look, Kim, I love you, but you was very much so the epitome of class. You don't agree with this and that, but you don't have an issue with what Phaedra got on. And Kim was just Phaedra was just like, well, I was at the beach and it's hot and it's fun and all that. I get it, Kim. You're taking up for Phaedra because she's pretty much your only friend on the show, or I guess the closest person that you know she's the closest person to her on the show. I'll say that, Phaedra. So of course you're gonna have Phaedra's back. She don't have nobody else's back. I wonder if Phaedra feel the same way. Never know with Phaedra. All right. Um, Nene also agreed and this and that, and she was just like, I'm classy and kind of making fun of Kim a little bit. I can tell she was getting a little bit annoyed. Let's see. They bring out the men. Before I get to that, I will say this: that Kim Fields. I think that originally people thought that they was bringing Regine to the show. You know, the diva from Living Single. But once they found out that she was completely not like that, it started to annoy people. But I will say that this Kim Fields on the reunion show, she's dope. And I always liked Kim Fields. I told y'all a while back in one of my reviews about the show. I do like Kim Fields as a person in general and good in real life. I feel like she's fantastic. But on a reality show in particular, this type of reality show is it's not necessarily good. However, she definitely opened up a lot more towards the end. And I feel like if she just opened up more and just, speak her mind and this and that, she'll be good. I don't think people have an issue with her being on the show. You know? She made me laugh a lot during this whole reunion show, because she was really getting turned up. And even though I'm Team Twirl, that's what Kenya needs sometimes. Kenya needs somebody to shake her ass up a little bit, because she does overtalk people and she is quite rude at these reunion shows. So I mean, hell, I thought it was funny. Don't sun me, like Candy said. All right, anyway, they bring out the men. Matt brings out roses. Andrew thought he was gonna get one. Andy. um okay, so they get into the whole Chrissy thing and that whole moment. um Chris was just like, look, I'm not new to people talking shit about me. I'm a performer and all that, and especially when people want what I have. But I'm trying to figure out what exactly does he have. I mean, a loving marriage, supportive wife, great kids and all that. That's awesome. But what exactly do he have that everybody wants? So I was trying. I don't really get that, but whatever. Anything to, make yourself a little shine. Stand up for yourself. I get it. Pat your own back. All right. They bring up a blog post that Kim left, and Kim was just like, she's praying for Kenya. And I hope that she gets the help that she needs. Of course, Kenya feels like she don't need any help. And as far as the whole Chrissy thing, they bring up is Kenya says that she brought that up because of her 20 years in Hollywood and her being on Living Single. I honest to God, y'all, I do not remember Kenya Moore on Living Single. I know Kenya's most of Kenya's acting career has very much so just her being on shows like in the '90s, and in the early 2000s. Not necessarily being a main character. She was never a main character in any of these shows. She was just made a guest appearance, one or two or a few episodes. Um, so it's very far and few in between. But I really don't remember Kenya Moore being on Living Single for an episode. I really honestly don't. If anything, the one thing that I remember Kenya Moore being on was In the House with LL Cool J, back in like late '90s. And then I also remember that one episode of Martin that she was on, when she had on that tight leather dress and they had went out to dinner with her and her husband, which is Mario Van Peebles, I believe, on the show. And Gina Martin went out with him, and Martin was trying to sign a deal or whatever with them or something. And he was just very much so staring at her tits all night. Y'all remember the episode, Miss Bozeman or something like that, which was played by Kenya Moore. But anyway, I remember that, but I don't remember Kenya being on Living Single. But whatever. Anyway, they played the tape back, and Kenya had switched it from like 10 years. She said, I said 10 years ago and this and that. It was just like, no, you lying, because I wasn't on Living Single 10 years ago. It was 20 years ago. The folks didn't have their facts together anyway, obviously. So Kim basically just brought it up to be messy, as we know, but she was just like, that's just a rumor. And I was just mad about the fact that they said that I was lying. And I just brought the whole thing up because of the bus situation that happened, where Chris had kind of got into it and he was mocking the girls, acting, doing all this and being all extra. But apparently he was just playing. So we'll say that. A fan wrote in, had a question for Portia, which was funny as hell. He was just like, look, Portia, how can you sit there and talk shit about Chris allegedly being gay when there was all kind of rumors about Cordell being gay? I mean, everybody was talking about it. I mean, I remember watching a Funky Dineva on YouTube, and he was saying that allegedly Cordell was caught in Philly sucking dick down at the park. I'm sure the kids had all went home by then, but late at night in the parks, there'll be number crackheads and prostitutes. So that's, I mean, hell, which was funny. Portia's response was like, it was all Kenya. Everything's Kenya fault. Global warming is Kenya. Donald Trump could possibly be president because of Kenya. Everything is Kenya's fault. Kenya, she was that one slave that told on everybody. Everything is Kenya's fault to Portia, and it was just funny. All of them started laughing. Um, and Andy, he really didn't think that it was funny. You can tell he was just sitting there thinking about it, and he was just like, "You guys all make a joke about gay people and this and that. It's kind of like you're gay bashy," which I mean it is. It's just always a big joke to be gay and making fun and all that. I'm like, but y'all boss is a queen sitting there in that chair that writes all y'all checks. So that's stupid at the end of the day. But all this shit just comes from the African American culture. We can pretty much be anything but gay, pretty much. And it's acceptable to a certain extent. So, it's that whole shame thing, and you know, if you're gay, a lot of people think that you're instantly the quote unquote bitch, the bottom, and I can go on and on. That's another video. Y'all already know what it is. And Chris was just like, look, I know who I am, and my wife knows who I am, and I'm secure in who I am. And I have gay friends, male and female, and I think they're some of the most amazing people in the world. And the woman was just like, yeah, yeah, you're right, you're right. Portia was just like, he was laying delicately on his wife and all that shit. All of them participated in that whole, let's make fun of Chris possibly being gay thing, besides Sheree and Cynthia. So, it was just stupid and silly at that point that Portia was trying to deflect everything back on Kenya. The proof was already there, boo. They showed the clip. Like, just keep it real and apologize. Um, Kenya had a hard time apologizing. She just finally said, "I'm sorry, Christopher," but of course he didn't accept it. Kenya should have, been apologized for the thing, but whatever. But Matt was finna get Chris for real. Cause he was just like, who are our mutual friends that call me Chrissy? And Matt was just like, I think she just told you. And this and that. It was like, child, Kenya got her big bodyguard now. And apparently he's in love with Kenya. And he could possibly be moving into more manor. I'm sure he can fight those ogres that I'm sure is around, according to Sheree. She it did look like some fairy tale dungeon shit where she moved, but I don't know. Whatever. Okay. Um, let's see. But I do appreciate Chris for what he said and everything. Chris kept it cool, and he's funny. He does have a personality. He has way more. What is with these husbands? They got more personalities than their wives. Peter got more personality than Cynthia. Um, Chris got more personality than Kim. It's just like, my God, like we got to see Bob's personality, Sheree's husband or ex-husband, whatever. And he's funny. He's funnier than Sheree. I was just like, damn, have these men on the show a little bit more. Write them a check, Andy, please. Because these women get on my nerves sometimes. I'm sure I'm not the only one. Okay, so let's see. They get into Todd and Phaedra, child, that whole situation. And Todd brought out damn emails. Phaedra checking her phone. And, as we know, that Phaedra just now sent him the rest of that damn money. Um, Todd kind of gets on Phaedra. He was just like, why'd you coming at me with this mess when, Apollo was in your house? You didn't know what the hell he was doing. She talking about, you don't know what I'm doing. Apparently, Phaedra, she sent text and she was just asking about the whole update thing and when should I send the money and this and that. Candy was just like, no, let's go way back. That's recent shit because you just paid him for the reunion to save face. Let's go way back when we was asking about when you gonna give him the rest of his money. You didn't respond, and you was just like, oh, the Apollo and this and that and this and that. Phaedra's whole thing was, why are you coming at me so hard when you should have said something to my husband, Apollo? And Todd just said, because you asked me not to include Apollo in it, which I'm sure she did. And there was just a situation between them because, let's just be honest, I don't know Apollo personally. The man is not an idiot. I'm definitely not the smartest person in the world. Y'all would know that if y'all was, like with me, from day to day. But when it comes to Phaedra and Apollo, Phaedra's definitely the brains in that relationship. Let's just be honest. And the whole thing, was with Phaedra pretty much. So I mean, even when they showed the clip, they didn't show Apollo in it. So I don't know. I don't know if he was the cameraman or what. He's always the help when it comes to them too. So I don't know. So they get into it bad, and Candy, she was just like, you trying to save face and this and that, and you full of shit and all that. And Candy and Phaedra's relationship is done, dead, boots, done, and it's so sad. It really is sad, but their relationship is over with, unfortunately. And Phaedra was just like, wow, how you think that about me when I knew you had a baby? You think I send the feds to your house? And nobody gives a shit. Everybody got kids. You wanted what you wanted, Phaedra. I mean, come on now. I mean, I don't know who the hell else could have called them, Phaedra. Nobody else cares that much, and who would come? Who was in the feds? Who was in the feds to Candy's house out of all people? For the most part, Candy pretty much gets along with everybody. So who else could have did it but you, Phaedra? Like, come on, like, this is a reunion. This is time for everybody to own up to all their shit. It's all on camera. Everybody, y'all all done saw all the episodes by now. Everybody saw all the shade that was being thrown and all the confessionals from everybody when they all talked about each other, when everybody talked about each other. So it's just come clean. Like, come on. I mean, this is all alleged that Phaedra did it. But I don't know who the hell else could have did it. And I don't know why she trying to make us think that somebody else did it. Who did it? Apollo sent the feds? Child. Anyway, that's my girl Squeaky Jones will say. Um, let's see. We get into Portia. Portia is a hood rat at heart. Portia ass be fighting. It was so funny. They showed Portia. Apparently, Portia got into a physical altercation with this girl named Jamie, who's on her team, who worked with her assistant or whatever. And this was after the whole. This was during the whole Christmas thing, the season finale that Dwight and Phaedra put together, the whole Christmas party. And all we saw was Portia in her little Eskimo outfit with the legs cut out, running down the damn street, to get somebody. They calling her name and shit. Portia's going off. She's fighting. Portia says that she's in anger management and she needs to control herself. Same thing, and Cynthia Kenya, of course, chimed in. And Kenya was just like, this has been 3 incidents that you done been in, and you need to control your anger and this and that. Portia was just like, look, I have never been in a situation like this in my life. We're all criticized, we're all judged. A person can only take so much. And I was kind of feeling a little bit something for Portia. I did feel a little bad for Portia. Um, because, ultimately, I don't think people just genuinely don't like Portia. Because Portia's just very bubbly, silly, fun type of person. I think she has to be pushed to that level to fight. And I don't really like to see anybody get picked on. And sometimes I feel like they pick on Portia. Um, but it's because she's an easy target. But what? At the same time, at the end of the day, everybody's grown. You have to have some kind of self control, like they said. And you just have to know what it is and just not take it to that level. But I know it's hard. It's hard with Kenya. More on that thing. Y'all know I love Kenya, but it's hard with Kenya and her little side comments. I mean, my God, if Kenya was anywhere else where there wasn't, people to stop her from getting her ass beat, Kenya Moore would have been got drugged through the mud by somebody. Let's just be honest. I fuss with Kenya. I'm Team Twirl, but I have to be honest. It's just who I am. I'm a Libra. I see all sides of everything. Hey, Taiwan. So, anyway, that was pretty much it. And Portia was just like, "Look, I'm going to anger management and this and that." And Kim Fields, she was just like, "I commend you for actually going to anger management and this and that because you didn't have to reveal that to us. I mean, so you are becoming a full adult and taking a step into the bad side, step into the bad side. Ooh, ooh, ooh. You're actually trying to better yourself, which is good." That was pretty much it. I really don't know who's all gonna be back next season. I heard that Kim's not coming back. I think that's true. But everybody else, I don't know. It's just kind of up in limbo. I really don't know what else these women can do that's not repetitive at this point. I really don't know. Um, as far as Candy and Phaedra, I really don't care if they get back friends. Kenya and Portia, they're always going to be at odds. Um, but I mean, as long as they don't start throwing shade at each other, I think they'll be fine. They can get along. Um, Phaedra's just Phaedra. Whatever. Nene comes back, she's gonna be in cahoots with Kenya because if you can't beat Kenya, join her, and Kenya's always gonna be on that show because she brings the most drama, and so she's always gonna be getting checked. So people might as well just get with the program when it comes to Kenya. These Kenya haters are a little ridiculous. Like, just deal with it. Yeah, obviously she's not like that in real life. She's doing what she got to do to keep more manner up. The ogres keep tearing it down. So I mean, hell, she got to do what she got to do. If they bring Sheree back, I don't really care. I do like Sheree, but I don't care if they bring her back. I don't know. I don't care. Um, but ultimately, I'll say this: I wouldn't mind them bringing all these women back for at least one more season, and it'd be like the farewell season to this particular cast, and then they just recast the whole thing. I think that'd be great. And so that'd be cool. Um, yeah. So Nene, Sheree, Phaedra, Portia, Candy, Kenya, Kim. Yeah, just Cynthia. Just bring all them heifers back and just let the chips fall where they may, and I mean, it is what it is. Because people like Kenya, they definitely people like Kenya and Kim, they definitely Kenya especially, she needs some kind of thing that's gonna kind of rejuvenate her. That's gonna kind of make people see her in a better light, in a happier light, and more positive light. Because she really has left a really bad taste in people's mouths. For sure. People that are fans of the show, a lot of people really can't stand Kenya, and it's deep. And in Kim, she needs to come back just to show that she does have balls, that she can stand on her own, that she she there is more to her than just being a mother and a wife. So that's just my thoughts on the thing. With that said, that's it. Part three, season 8. I appreciate you guys and I love you guys so much for watching my videos and supporting me. Mr. Chalaki, Google Plus, follow me please. At It's King's World on Twitter and Instagram. At It's King's World 89 on Snapchat. Chase King was here on Facebook. Y'all already know what it is. I adore y'all. Thank y'all so much. It's been fun this season. It's been really fun. And I'll see y'all soon for something. Ciao. All right. Bye.